This segment brought to you by Bravo Company USA. Hey gang, Larry Vickers here, and this is a BCM training tip. This particular one's all about mechanical offset. What that means is iron sights offset from the bore. Now, one of the reasons everybody loves the M4 or AR style rifles is everything's in line. Your barrel, your operating group, your buttstock, everything's in line, so the recoil straight to the rear makes the gun much more controllable. Here's the thing, the distance between your cheek well and your eye level has to be accommodated. So that's why the sights are that much higher than the operating group. Remember, with weapons like the M1 Garand or M1 Carbine or M14 or earlier AKs, G3 and whatnot, there's a drop to the stock, which means now the iron sights can be lower to the bore. With this weapon, that's not the case. So where that comes into play is where you zero it, all right? So remember, whether it's the irons or the optic, in this case, Aimpoint Micro T2, it is straight to infinity. It never deviates, straight line to infinity. What happens though is the barrel is slightly canted, so when it launches the projectile down, it does this loop number, almost like throwing a football down. Gravity's gonna take that projectile and pull it down. So what you come up with is, where do those two intersect? Where does that perfectly straight horizontal line of sight intersect, irons or red dot or magnified optic, and where does the bullet intersect, otherwise known as point of aim, point of impact. So here's what you got. Here's my aiming point, all right? You can see the optic, you can see where the barrel's at. The barrel's about this much lower. So if I was at contact distance and I pulled the trigger aiming right here, no matter what, I'm gonna hit about 2.5 to 3 inches low. Well, that may or may not work for you at distance, all right? So what you get is people go, okay, well, I want to zero my gun point of aim, point of impact at 50 yards or 100 yards or 200 yards, which is cool, but there's a price to be paid for all that, meaning bullet impact is going to be low or high at different ranges. You got to figure out what works best for you. One that I routinely train and teach people to do is, especially for a general purpose carbine, is a 100-meter point of aim, point of impact. And what that means is at 100 meters, this is where your bullet's gonna hit, all right? This is where you're gonna aim, this is where your bullet's gonna hit. Now, what does that mean when you get closer? Well, it means about 75, you're gonna be a little bit lower, 50 yards, you're gonna be a little bit lower, 25, a little bit lower yet, then at muzzle contact distance, you're down here. Here's the deal, you gotta figure out what works best for you and how you're using the weapon. If I'm shooting at longer range, you need to go with a 200 or 300 meter zero. If it's something where, you know, I'm using this weapon for personal defense, then you need to look at your maximum legally justified distance for shooting your carbine. Maybe 30 yards, it may be 25 yards. You have to look at how you're gonna use the weapon and how you zero it. And there's no way around this. You're gonna have to deal with it. If you shoot an AR style weapon, because the operating group is all in line with the barrel and the buttstock, you have to accommodate that mechanical zero. Hey, I hope you learned something out of this. If you need to, rewind it, watch it again, try it out at the range and figure out what works best for you. Have a good one, LAV out. Hey, Larry Vickers here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Click here to subscribe to the Vickers Tactical channel and take time out to check out some of our other favorite videos.